Hello YouTube, Rocky3 here, back with another kicking action figure review. Today's review is over the Amazing Spider-Man movie series Lizard figure. Yes, it is very, very cool. Yeah, there were 4 figures in this. 3 of them were movie series, 1 was comic series. There was an Amazing Spider-Man, of course, and then an Ultimate Spider-Man, this guy, and then there was a Peter Parker, but it was just the same body as the Spider-Man figure and everything, except it had Peter Parker's head, 2 different hands, and it came with like this blue backpack and an interchangeable Spider-Man head and this dumb skateboard that he doesn't even fit on. But yeah, the Lizard, definitely biggest figure in the wave. I kind of wish they would have replaced that Peter Parker Spider-Man with a comic series of Lizard, if you know what I'm saying. But this guy's pretty cool. I mean, all original parts, not something you can say about a lot of action figures these days, especially Hasbro. I mean, completely new sculpt, and it looks fantastic. Came with several things. One is this base. Oh, too close. Looks kind of like the Avengers base from the Avengers movies figures, except it's a lighter color and doesn't have the A there. They could have put like a spider there or a web, but they didn't. Kind of glad they didn't. Because, limits to what you can use it for. I mean, I've seen people using it for ACBA a lot since they connect and etc. But he also came with 3 lizards. He came with this iguana, and the paint and detail on these guys are actually pretty good. But it's like an iguana, a leopard gecko, and a bearded dragon. 3 like domestic lizards. All 3 of those are pet shop lizards. So they're things that would be in New York that people would be like, wow, you're too big, or I don't want you anymore, and then they just let it out their window or whatever. Of course, none of them would survive long, but at least you could explain those 3 lizards being in New York with the lizards, so that's pretty cool. Alright, now, yeah, well, now that I've shown you his accessories and stuff, let's get into his detail and paint job. Now, just to warn you guys, the detail on this guy is pretty good. Sadly, I do have to complain about the head, though, because it's way too small for one. And he has this weird, like, face. I don't know, I'm not too crazy about his head. But it was either, like, a good head for the Marvel Select and then a tiny tail, or just, like, a kind of decent head here and a long tail. So I picked the long tail and also more articulation. But, it's all painted and everything. He's got blue eyes, even though I'm pretty sure they were green in the movie. And his white teeth, red tongue. But he's got all these browns on him, and you can see the sculpting of like his skin and his scales. They really just went for it with the sculpting. And the paint, you see, he's got dark greens all over him too, like on the head and down the arm. Sad thing is the dark greens don't continue onto the hands. Let me zoom out a little more. Just focus better. Oh, a little too much, I guess. Now I can see behind my background. But as you see there, it's like the green, and then it's the light green again. It's much more prominent on the bigger hand, see? Yeah, but he's got the dark green all down his back. No paint apps on the tail at all. You do have to pop the tail in, else he wouldn't fit in packaging. But it's no chore at all. It's really easy. But yeah, he's got these bigger scales on his legs, detail all the way down. Wish he had some paint apps on the feet and hands though, like maybe giving his claws some color, you know? But he does have peg holes. I don't know why you need that stand, because he stands excellent by himself, but hey, whatever. But now how about we get into some articulation of this guy. Head, side to side, as well as a little up and down, but not much, just, you know. The neck does get some decent up and down, but it gives this weird hole, so I'm not too sure what to think about it. And he can turn as well. And then he's got this diaphragm joint, which I actually kind of like for him. So it works well for him. Up and down on the arms, forward, back, bicep rotation, double elbow bend, love the double elbow bends. And then wrist swivel. And no waist joint, he doesn't really need one as much as other figures though, so I don't really care. Then we got in and out on the leg, forward and back. You got a thigh swivel, double knee bend, and then you've got some rotation here and up and down. I guess that counts as his ankle pivot. And then of course tail rotates and goes up and down. So he's got plenty of articulation. I dig the articulation. But now let's get into some size comparisons. So here he is with some other Spider-Man. These are the other Spider-Man from the same line as him, the Amazing Spider-Man and the Ultimate. And I gotta say, they look fine to me. I mean, the Lizard was always hunched over and stuff, and this is more of an erect figure. And some of his proportions aren't exactly right, but for, what he is, I think it's a great scaling. I mean, he's just big, towers over them, very massive, and I think it looks great. Here he is with the Marvel Legends Spider-Man. It is the big-time Spider-Man. And I think they scale up well together as well, and since the Future Foundation is his variant, and it's really just a different paint job, then he'll also scale up with your Future Foundation, and I do so believe that they are making a Scarlet Spider with the same sculpts for the next wave of Marvel Legends. So, yeah, that Scarlet Spider should scale up well with him too. I love Scarlet Spider. I can't wait for that figure to come out. And then over here we have a Marvel Select, the Marvel Select Amazing Spider-Man. And he doesn't really scale up as well with the Lizard because he's just so much bigger, and the Lizard just doesn't seem as imposing against him. So, yeah, nothing really there. Now here, lastly, we're just going to compare him with some other villains, because all I've shown you so far is Spider-Man, and I know you want to see something else. But yeah, here he is with the Mac Gargan Spider-Man Classics Venom, the Scorpion Sting Venom, a figure I really dig. And I think they scale up well together too. I think they look fine. And then here he is with the Marvel Select Ultron. Now it's another Marvel Select, so you got some variety up here. But I really dig it. I think it's an okay scaling, because I always picture Ultron as pretty big too, even though sometimes he's really not, but sometimes he is. So, yeah, you know what, I think it's fine as well. So this Lizard with the scaling, actually pretty cool. And action. So all in all, what are my final thoughts on this Amazing Spider-Man movie series? Lizard? Well, he's a pretty cool figure. I mean, I really just, I dig his look. I wish the head would have been done better. Maybe some paint apps on the hands, feet, and tail. But I like the articulation, and the detail really is good. He scales up well with other figures, especially your Spider-Man. So, I really recommend him for your collection. I mean, a completely original sculpt and everything. He's just really cool. And if you want to take a cloth lab coat off one of your figures and put it on him, or make your own cloth lab coat, then go ahead, because there were parts of the movies where he did have some scraps of a lab coat on, and then they either got shot off or ripped off in the high school bathroom. Reminds me of high school. But yeah, I say pick him up. Honestly, I'm going to give this Lizard 4 out of 5 stars. I really like this guy. He's very, very cool. So, yeah, you guys just tell me what you think of him in the comments below. Feel free to ask questions. Rate, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Check out the links in the description below. Cool stuff down there. But, yeah, come on. It's really, really cool. Highly recommend it. You could probably still find him in stores. I mean, I still see him all the time. So, yeah, just go get yourself one. But, yeah, that is it, you guys. Lizard is out, and I will see you guys later.